This is the plaintiff, Carol Wegand. She says she loaned her horse, Cowboy Democracy, to the defendant to see if she liked riding it, and if she did, the defendant agreed she'd buy it. She had the horse free of charge for about a year, and one time when she drove by the defendant's property, she was shocked and sickened because Cowboy Democracy was skin and bones. The woman starved her poor horse. She immediately got her trailer, rescued the horse, and is now nursing him back to health. The defendant should be criminally prosecuted for animal neglect, and she's here in the good name of justice, suing her for all of the $3,000 she had to spend getting Cowboy Democracy healthy again. This is the defendant, Dana Paganich. She says she and her husband had a free one-year lease on Cowboy with an option to buy, and he had all the dealings with the plaintiff regarding the horse. Unfortunately, she and her husband split up, and he moved out, and she had no way of contacting the plaintiff. One day, she showed up at home, and Cowboy was gone. The plaintiff swiped him, claiming she was starving him to death. She took pictures of the hay, the grain, and water she was giving him, but the plaintiff went nuts on social media, slandering her good name. She thinks her ex-husband is somehow behind all of this, because she certainly did nothing wrong in caring for the horse. She is accused of horsing around with Cowboy Democracy.
All parties, please do your right hand. Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. All right, Ms. Wegand, you are suing Ms. Paganich for $3,000 that you believe she owes you for malnourishing and abusing your horse. Tell me what's going on.
Back in October of 2015, I entered into a free lease with Dana and her husband. They had come to my house the first week of October to look at our horse. They agreed that they liked it. They wanted to lease it. It was a free lease. No money was involved.
So you basically lease the horse and they have to take care of the horse for that amount of time?
Correct.
Do you have a written contract with them?
I do.
Let me see. Who's the rider?
Our daughter.
Okay.
Well, my daughter.
And how old is your daughter?
13.
Okay. So go ahead. What happens?
So in the beginning, I would go over and check on the horse. You know, the first few weeks would ride by once a week, and then it was...
How far were they from you?
They were about 8 miles away. So, you know, as time went on, we'd check on them a little less. Then I'd just go by the house, maybe if I was going grocery shopping. And, you know, the first year, everything went great. Last July, I had knee surgery, so I hadn't been by the house for at least a couple months. I couldn't drive for 6 weeks. Then I would say it was the end of August, early September. John had stopped by our house and said they were thinking about not using the horse anymore, that the daughter wasn't riding much and was thinking about bringing it back. So we had told him, you know, that's fine. He asked me again if we could pick the horse up. And I said, well, I still don't have a trailer to come get them. I said, but you can bring them back anytime. We don't have to be home. You can just put them in the field and I'll see them when I go out to feed even. So I didn't hear from him. And then it was January 16th. I went by with a friend because actually she had a trailer and said her daughter would be interested in riding. I said, well, I think these people are done with the horse. If you can get it back to my house, your daughter can come over and ride. So we stopped over to look at him, and he was just skin and bones.
What's the horse's name?
Cowboy Democracy. And he was about 400 pounds underweight. And I do have photos. I brought photos of before when he went out on lease.
Before and after. Hold on. Who's riding?
That's me. And you can just see he's got a big chest. He's not a super tall horse, but typical quarter horse. Very healthy there.
What's that?
That's a photo of the empty trash can that John, the night I found the horse and we got him back to our house, because even though I didn't have a trailer that was tagged or had registrations, I came home hysterical. And my husband was like, put on his shoes, and he said, well, go get him. He said, I'll try, I'll drive slow. So we rode over and got him.
Wait, who did you talk to about getting him and everything else?
Nobody. I just saw the condition and I just went and got him. He wasn't staying there.
Did you know that she was
No.
All right.
Knew nothing.
And how did you find out?
I came home. I had left the house probably around 3 o'clock that day, went to the mall with my children. I came home probably around 5 o'clock. And when I came home, Cowboy was gone.
So when did you get the pictures?
I got these pictures 2 days after I had brought the horse home because
Okay,
I
so
sent
you
him
didn't get the pictures till January.
I didn't get them till January.
Who got them instead of you?
Her husband's lawyer. He sent them to his lawyer, his divorce lawyer, because the night I got
Is he
the
fighting
horse.
you for custody?
Yes.
So the premise is you can't take
Right.
care of a horse,
Correct.
you can't take care of a kid.
Correct.
How old's a kid that you have in common?
6 years old.
So, but he didn't send them to her.
Correct. Well, I don't know. According to
No.
her, she got them. And she was told in September, which was when...
Is this how the horse looked when you picked the horse up?
Actually, I believe that's 2 weeks after he was home. If you scroll, there's photos where he's covered in mud and fecal matter.
Are those his ribs?
Those are his ribs, his tailbone sticking out the top. That's it, covered in the mud. That is an hour or so after he arrives back.
This is horrible.
Your Honor, first of all, when I got them, okay, I never took care of our horse.
It doesn't matter. The day your husband leaves, then you just call her and say, pick up your horse.
I had asked, and I was given her wrong phone number by him and his attorney.
Then figure it out. When did your husband leave?
Finally in September.
Okay, so September, October, November, December, January is when she picks up the horse. Who's taking care of the horse?
I was doing exactly
But you're
what...
not good at it, right? Because you see that is just...
Your Honor, he had
do you
told
see what
me.
I'm seeing?
I understand that.
Okay.
But I don't even know if... Because those were not the conditions that I feel that he was in. And I don't know if that is necessarily pictures of him.
Really? What do you think? That
absolutely.
she ran out,
Yes,
wanted to frame you for something?
Yes, absolutely.
What did you do then? You nabbed the horse back. And
My
kidnapped
husband took the trailer, we brought him home. I sent John a very nasty text message, and he responded with, no, that would be my blank wife.
Yeah, but you know what? John's a jerk, okay? Because the guy who signed the contract is John. Just so you know. So,
I'm
that's
mad at
my
both
wife.
of
I
them.
wash my hands of all. No, when he washes his hands in September of her, he needs to wash his hands of the horse that he's the one who signed for. First of all, is there a phone number on here?
That's John's phone number.
No, yours.
Oh, I don't believe.
Well,
the
you should
phone
have
number.
one. But there's a phone number for your vet who would know how to
Yes.
reach you. There's a phone number for the farrier. So
And
it's
she
just...
was at my house when she
Well,
looked at it.
I don't know what she's got because he's the only one who signed it. So I don't know. Oh, it's not me. It's my blanking wife. Really? What are you suing her for?
$1,500 is the
Why?
value
You have
of the horse.
Why would you be entitled to the value of the horse as though she had killed the horse?
I'll tell you why. Because when I got the horse back in this condition, this horse had no value. This horse
Yeah,
not
but
only
that's not
had
true.
no value.
No, that's not true. Clearly, there was something you could do to bring the horse back to value. So your measure of damages is the extra expense you may have had to go through to bring the horse back to health. That I get. But
Right.
why would I ever make her pay for the whole value of the horse as though the horse was dead when the horse isn't dead? The
I
answer is
just
no.
looked at
It's
it as-
rhetorical. Saddle
Okay.
value and bridle value. Is that what I'm looking at over here?
Yes. I have no idea which one is hers because I wasn't there when the contract was signed.
Okay. Do you know which one is yours?
the one on the far left.
Okay, so we got that back. So let's go over the other thing. You're suing for the vet bill. You're suing for the farrier to have the hooves trimmed, which is something that you feel she should have done. You're suing for food.
Yes, 1 pound.
Time spent wrapping legs, extra feedings, unnecessary extra care, 20 hours at $10 an hour. Talk to me about that.
It took a lot of work. I mean, I was going out at 10 o'clock at night the first month and making sure he had hay in front of him because I just wanted him to constantly eat. We were giving him at least 3 meals a day, sometimes 4 if we could fit it into our
The
schedule.
vet told us we can't give him everything at once. We had to feed him very little because of how
Small
skinny
meals.
he was. It's kind of like if a person was starving, you couldn't just give him a steak dinner. You'd have to give him something very small to begin
Unless
with.
it was me. Okay.
I mean, he was so bad, I brought what his mane looked like. It just fell out in clumps.
Matted,
And it wasn't normal how he shed. He looks beautiful there, but in early spring, his hair came out in mats, and there was no hair underneath. Normally in the spring when they shed, they've got their summer hair. He was actually bald underneath.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if you underfeed a horse, to the point the horse is malnourished. Is that a crime?
Yes, of course it is.
What's crime?
The crime is, what is it?
What is
Animal cruelty.
Is it animal cruelty? Is it a crime?
Yes, it is.
Okay, everybody's kind of thinking. Who's positive?
Me, it's animal cruelty. I think it's against the law.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Going inside the courtroom.
This is not an exact science in a case like this. I can tell you that for sure you're not entitled to $1,500 as though the horse were dead when the horse is not dead. You're suing for double that when the most you would be entitled to would be the value of the horse, so that's kind of ironic. But it did cost you a substantial amount of money to bring this animal back to health. And it cost you money and it cost you time that it shouldn't have cost you because nobody should have let that animal get to that condition. If you couldn't handle it, then don't. Figure it out. You got a bad number? Call the lawyer back, say that's a bad number. Do something. Figure it out, okay? Because there's never, ever, there's nothing you could whine about or tell me that would ever justify having an animal in this condition, okay? Nothing. I realize that it's your ex or soon-to-be ex that is on the contract, but you, of course, were part of that deal as well, and you were the sole caretaker after he left. And that's why I'm holding you responsible. I don't want to hear a word from you. I just want to explain to you.
Okay.
But there is nothing that you can say that could justify this.
Okay.
And based on my calculations, I'm certainly awarding you your time, the extra time you had to spend loving and feeding and wrapping and everything else you had to do. And my judgment is in your favor, but not in the amount that you're asking. My judgment is in your favor in the amount of $1,045.
So the plaintiff prevails, but only for a portion of what she was seeking. The defendant, Ms. Pickenich, has just come out of the courtroom. Boy, the judge just let you have it. What are you thinking right now?
I feel I would have felt to have a little more say as to what went on.
You know, the pictures kind of told the story.
They did, but they didn't. Okay.
Killed you.
I don't even necessarily know if those were him at that time.
Oh, come on. Are you serious? The judge
dead
argued
serious.
that with you
I'm dead
from the
serious.
bench.
And those
You don't think you didn't take sufficient care of the horse?
I was doing exactly what my husband at the time told me he was doing.
Wow. The evidence is just so, it's
Okay.
there.
All right.
The horse looked terrible. I'm sorry, you lost the case, but it made you look really bad.
Thanks.
I got to tell you that.
All right.
Okay, I think it's pretty obvious.
All right,
Thank you, ma'am.
thanks.
Okay. Here comes the plaintiff. You didn't get everything you were seeking, but you certainly got your story across.
Yes, I feel like the judge made a good decision. I'm happy.
I'm sure you did. And the horse is doing good now? You said looked great
Looking real
this
good.
morning?
I just showed them people. I took
Yeah.
pictures of it this morning. Just showed some of the people in the audience.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Good.
We're happy.
Congratulations. Glad you're happy. Glad the horse is happy.
Thank you very much.
Good enough. Sorry all that happened. I know it
Have a
must have
good one.
shocked you. All horse owners can understand that case. Okay, Harvey, what do you think?
So, I mean, look, they're all right. Animal cruelty is a crime. Now, I am not saying that this defendant is guilty of the crime, but I got to say those pictures are horrendous.